My name is Aaron Tartakovsky. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Epic CleanTech based here in San Francisco. So we are decentralizing wastewater treatment and reuse into individual buildings or groups of buildings starting in cities. So what are the big problems that we're dealing with? Well, right now we continue to be reliant on centralized infrastructure. We're dealing with water and sewer rates that are rising on top of continuously unpredictable climate, and the fact that we know that 70% of the world's population will be living in cities by 2050. So we see an opportunity not just to continue rebuilding the same way we've been doing things, but to fundamentally shift the model towards a more distributed approach. So why cities? Because of this statistic. We know that more and more people are going to be moving into cities, and we have an opportunity to redesign how our cities handle both water and wastewater infrastructure. So at Epic, we've developed an approach. We actually convert a building's wastewater both into treated water, which we can then reuse on site, helping to reduce a building's water demands by up to 95%, as well as a high quality carbon rich soil product, which we can then use in and around cities. And very importantly, we handle everything for these projects, meaning we handle everything from the initial permitting and design all the way through the ongoing operations and maintenance contracts of these systems, essentially hand-holding our customers, which are building owners and developers, to make sure that this entire process is as seamless as possible. So what does it actually look like? We are going into the basements of these large buildings or these campuses. We're first pulling out the solids. So these solids we strip out of the water, we compress, we take offsite and turn into high quality soil products, which we can then partner with cities or with parks or with nurseries to turn it into a high quality carbon rich product and actually not have to use fossil fuel based fertilizers. With the solids now removed, the water, which is more akin to a dark gray water, can then be treated and recycled on site. And in terms of the technology that we're actually using, here on the left, you can see our solids recovery technology. This is a rotating belt filter, which has been sized specifically for a building, which is to say it's not large flows like you would see at a wastewater treatment plant where you're talking hundreds of thousands or millions of gallons a day. We're talking anywhere from 500 gallons to maybe 100,000 gallons per day, which means we can design the technology differently for those applications. On the right, you're seeing the membrane bioreactor that we are working with. So we've actually partnered in an OEM relationship with an existing player to design a system that's designed to be able to integrate into a building for those lower flows and to be able to fit into, for example, a 9-foot basement. This is actually the design of the system that we'll be putting into one of our installs in the coming month. This is what we do with our solids. So on the left is the raw solids. These are from Stanford where we did our initial testing. We convert it into a high quality soil product. So what you're seeing is not a stock image. That's actually our scientist Elon's hands holding our finished product. And this is actually our first hub. We call these Epic hubs. Each hub can service multiple buildings or spokes. Here is our first facility where we are creating this product and able to use it locally. So the business model is quite straightforward. We're selling these systems for about a 45% margin. We then have an ongoing O&M contract for 10 to 20 years. Again, about 45 to 50% margins there. And then we're finally selling the soil product, which is sort of a tertiary source of revenue for us. As time develops and the market matures, we plan on doing more of a leasing style model similar to the solar industry, using either third-party financiers or dedicated project development funds. San Francisco is our beachhead market. We actually worked on the regulatory side to help pass a law that requires that all large buildings in San Francisco have to have on-site water recycling programs. We also spent about 2 years on the state level on something called Senate Bill 966, which says that any city in California that wants to have a water recycling program like San Francisco's can do so, and the state regulatory authorities will help. And we envision other cities will be following suit in the coming years. This is actually an example of a project that we would be working on. And you'll see that by installing our system and reusing water on site, this building will save almost 40% annually, which translates to close to $700,000 or compounded over 10 years, $6.7 million. Our team is interesting. We are multifaceted. We cover politics, we cover engineering, we cover science. And we think that those three things are key ingredients to being able to navigate not only a new technology, but being able to work within a very regulatory heavy industry like water and wastewater and in the real estate sector. And we also have investors and advisors who span everything from real estate to water to energy, because we want to be able to think differently and work with our regulators versus against them. We've had a very busy year. We completed 18 months of testing at Stanford. We deployed into our first building in downtown San Francisco. We actually recently closed a $2.6 million seed round. And we have a lot of projects in the works now, but one thing I'm most excited about to actually announce on this call is on the left here. It will be our first commercial install, which we are commissioning in the next month. So I invite you all to come see it, should you be in San Francisco. Finally, I'll say that Epic CleanTech is very excited to be part of the Urban Water Challenge for 2020. We're excited to use this funding to be able to accelerate our developments and to make on-site reuse not just a one-off thing in a city like San Francisco, but to actually help to streamline regulation and streamline the education with our key stakeholders like building owners, like developers, like architects, who frankly are not familiar with on-site reuse. And so we as Epic CleanTech aim to be the leaders in the field to make this not only a one-off thing that certain projects will do, but to make it a mainstream approach that all new developments will want to be reusing their water on site and will understand the regulations and the technologies that enable them to do so. So what are we looking for now as a company? Well, we're looking for customers. We want to partner with more folks in the real estate industry, and we want to bring this solution to more cities. We want to work with other utilities. We want to work with other technology partners to make this not only something that we can do in San Francisco, but in other cities across the country and eventually around the world. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Anyone can feel free to reach me by my email. I look forward to continuing the conversation and working with you all. Thank you very much.